computer. All right, friends, we are back again with another awesome boss lady friend of mine, Briana Beers. She is a CPA and accountant. She is here to talk about all the things related to taxes. And I'm sure like right now it's kind of like crunch time for a lot of people to get them in if they haven't done them in. But say hello to Bri. Hi, girl.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me here, Heather. This is awesome, this summit you're putting together. I'm really excited.
I'm so glad that you said yes to it and made time in your schedule that you had, or even like a small little window to do this. It makes me really excited. So tell us about you, what you do, and where you are.
Yeah, so I am a CPA. I'm in Colorado, but we have clients across the country. I own Lippa Beers Associates. It's an accounting firm, and we specialize in tax preparation and tax planning for small business owners and their small businesses, as well as individuals outside of the small business world. But small business is our jam. It's our go-to.
Awesome. How long have you been doing that?
So I have owned the firm since like June of 2017. So I've only owned it for about just less than 3 years, but I've been in accounting. Like so the firm I took over, I worked for 5 years before that. And I've been in accounting for going on 15 to 20 years now. So
you have a lot of experience in this area. Awesome. I love it. So you guys, I met Bri. She is another one who is in my mastermind that I've got to meet in the last about 4 or 5 months. So I'm super excited that we were able to connect and come on here and do this. So my first question for you is, as a business owner, what are some of the top things that I should know about doing my taxes right now? Because as we know, with the coronavirus, things have like what you thought you knew, everything has changed. Everything's gone out the window. Things change what seems like daily. So like talk to us about like what's going on with that.
Yes. So the biggest thing, you guys, is that tax day is not April 15th. April 15th means nothing to us anymore. Okay. Tax day has officially been moved to July 15th.
So we have till then to file?
To file and pay. And so I'll kind of break down, because this is part of what kind of went back and forth last week. You know, they were, this is the week of like the 17th through 20th. Mm-hmm. You know, the president would announce something, and then the IRS released some guidance, and then that guidance didn't seem complete, but that's what we were telling people was the guidance. And then the White House came back and was like, we're going to change that. So here's where we are now. And I think this is there might be stuff that gets added to this, but everything that I'm going to talk about today, I'm pretty sure I'm comfortable is not going to change.
Okay. So as of March 23rd, we were recording this is accurate information.
Yes. So tax day moves to July 15th. So what does that mean? What they mean is that your tax return for 2019 and any payment due with your tax return due on July 15th. Originally, they had just given an extension on payment, but they changed it to be payment and filing. So payment and filing due July 15th. This new deadline applies to all taxpayers, regardless of the amount of money you owe. Originally, they had limits of like $1 million on individuals and $10 million on corporations. So if you owed more than that, you didn't get an extension. Now everyone gets an extension. I don't know how many people in this group that affected. Definitely not me, but
yeah, it was still going to get. I mean, it's my paperwork's in, and I'm just waiting for it to get processed at this point. Like, yeah. Okay, whatever gets done, it's done. Like,
well, so what else? Sorry, the extension is automatic. You don't have to actually file any sort of forms or anything.
Okay,
it's automatic. And what I want to really stress, though, you guys, is that, or like emphasize, is that if you are planning on receiving a refund, I would get your return filed as soon as possible. As of right now, there's no delays on the IRS's end in terms of processing returns or refunds, but they've already started shutting down departments, so that could change very quickly.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I know I'm still waiting. I had to side topic. I had to get my 2018 stuff redone, so I'm waiting for all of that. Oh my God, that Harry Potter mug is everything. I love it.
I wish you guys could see it.
It's sorry, I just got so sidetracked. 2018 taxes. So I had to refile because they got done wrong. So my girl she redid them. And it's taking even longer because it was a resubmission or whatever, because they were already done and we had to redo them. Like, I'm just like, that could show up anytime now. But like, I dropped those off like in December, like they had them. So it's taking forever. So I have to go in and check on them. But yeah, I was going to say, I'm wondering how like refund stuff's going to go, because with stuff shutting down, that's going to impact like obviously people that process all of that and cut the checks and do all those things. That's going to be crazy.
Yes. So as of right now, they're saying there's no delays. And so for those of you that may or may not know, how the IRS typically works is they have a bi-weekly direct deposit schedule. So every other Friday, everything that they process by the Monday before, they pay out. So really, you should never have to wait more than about 3 weeks, right? Even to get your refund, if you do direct deposit. That's normal. And that's what
normal outside of 2020.
Yes. Well, and outside, like you said, you were amending returns. There's always a delay on that.
They told me that was like 16 weeks or so. And I'm like, okay, well, any day now it could show up.
But yeah, so normally like 2 to 3 weeks is a normal turnaround time to see your direct deposit of your refund. Like I said, they're saying right now that they're still on schedule for that, but I don't press that. Any day now they could start announcing delays. Mm-hmm. So definitely if you have a refund coming back to you and you plan on, you might be relying on that cash, get it done sooner rather than later. Okay. Another piece to that, if you, not that a lot of people are out house shopping or whatever, but some are. And when you go, if you're getting a loan out for your business or refinancing, when you redo your loan, they want your last year's tax return. Get it done sooner rather than later, because if we get to the point where there's processing delays on the IRS's side, that's going to delay your ability to get that loan.
Oh, right? Man, so yeah.
That's another kind of thing that people don't think about, is if you think, if you're going to be looking for funds, whether it's small business, business loans or personal loans, get your tax return done and ready so it's ready to send to your loan officer.
Oh, that's really smart. Because I imagine there's probably are people still looking for houses. I think I just saw on my feed the other day, they were planning on moving and they're like, do we still move? Do we still what do we do? If everything gets on a total lockdown, we may not even be able to get out of the state and go get into another, craziness. So having that done will definitely make the process easier no matter when, that takes place for somebody. So.
For sure. But like I said, the biggest reason is if you want your money back, get it done now. Get your money.
Your money.
Get your money. So when they talk about what the extension of payment includes, so it's when you file your return, you guys, you pay your income tax. And then if you're self-employed, you also pay your self-employment tax. And this extension covers all of that. None of it's due till July 15th.
Oh, that's nice.
What's also exciting is it includes your first quarter 2020 estimated payments.
Oh.
So that's a kind of an added bonus.
Definitely. Because that was coming.
Is, what happens to second quarter? Second quarter is usually due in June. We don't know. We don't know if there's going to be a delay on that or not. But as of now, your first quarter 2020 estimated tax payments that are normally due on April 15th, not due till July 15th.
Okay, that's good. I would almost bet that they would probably delay.
Something's got to be delayed. But
yeah, it would have to be, because how are you not paying the first quarter till July, but then the second quarters and
yes. So, but again, so many things are coming out that, one of those pieces that by the time you guys listen to this, we might have answers, but right now we don't.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah. And so what that means, you guys, is you up until July 15th, you can file your return, you can pay it, and there's not going to be any penalties or interest. So it's just like you filed it on April 15th in a normal year, right?
Okay.
So there's no penalty from that April 15th to that July 15th now moved date. Okay, no additional penalties or interest. And what I found interesting is that it sounds like they're still going to allow taxpayers to file an extension if you can't file by July 15th. So
Well, for a lot of people who've lost their jobs and aren't able to pull an income, that's actually probably going to be a really good way for them to have that extra buffer of time to figure that out, because some people's businesses, like hair salons people, they have nothing. They can't work. They could lose their license and all sorts of things. So like they can't do anything. So that makes sense.
Yeah. So that's something to keep an eye out for. Again, we have no details on that, but something that we're hearing.
Okay.
So the biggest question I keep getting back at me is, what about the state? Okay, so what is going on with the state guidance? So states are slowly rolling out guidance, you guys, and most are following suit with federal laws. And to give you guys a little insight, most state returns, when they calculate how much you owe on the state, they start with your federal adjusted gross income. So if you think about it, if you don't have a federal adjusted gross income because you haven't done your federal return, how can they do your state? So I'm positive that all states are going to end up falling in line. Some are simply stating something like, we're following federal guidelines. Others are adding different stipulations and different things. I have a link to a chart that is being updated regularly on those state guidances. So I will make sure Heather has that.
Perfect. We will make sure that goes in the video title so you guys can have that link and check, because I know that there are so many people that are in different states. I'm in Ohio, Bree's in Colorado, so like that alone is enough of a difference, plus everybody in between. So that'll be super helpful for anybody. Plus, if your state's not changed anything yet and you just want to go back and check, then you can always go and check and see for your specific state. I love that.
Yes. So that's the biggest news out right now. Okay. All right. Is that July 15th deadline being moved. You know what I mean? That was terribly worded.
I'm like, wait, what? I mean, it made sense, but yeah.
That they moved the tax deadline from April 15th to July 15th.
July 15th. Awesome. Perfect.
So the next thing I want to make aware to our small business owners is, you guys have heard about this Paid Leave Act. There's this Paid Leave Emergency Act out in place. And this applies to those of you who have employees. This can also apply to those of you out there that maybe are employees or your spouse is an employee. So listen up to this.
Okay.
All right. So let's start with the employee side of things. So this guidance that was, again, just released last week says that eligible employees can receive 2 weeks, that's 80 hours, of paid sick leave at 100% of their pay if they're unable to work because of COVID-19, because they're sick. All right.
Wow. Okay. That's awesome.
There's additional stipulations that say if an employee is unable to work because they have to care for someone else who is on quarantine, or they have to care for a child whose school is closed, or childcare provider is unavailable, they are allowed to receive that paid time off as well, up to 80 hours at 2/3 of their salary. All right.
That's phenomenal.
It's really exciting for the employee.
Yes, for the person that it applies to, because I'm sure there are plenty of people that are like, can't work because I have to take care of my kid because the daycare is closed. And that's just how that works. And, you know, you're using PTO or whatever in order to be off, but like, how long are you going to be off? So at least there's, and you know, and it's not a perfect coverage for like, if things are crazy for a month and you can't go back to work for a month, but at least you can get something. So, which is just great.
Well, and actually part 3 of that is that if the employee is unable to work due to that need of care, so your child's school or daycare is closed, there are going to be instances where they can receive an additional 10 weeks of that expanded paid family and medical leave at the 2/3 pay.
Oh,
so
awesome.
There's a chance for them to extend it.
Okay. So I'm assuming you have a link for that as well.
Yeah. I'm just going to start sending you everything.
Yes, just email them to me.
Okay. I'll email. I'm still putting them here so they're all in one place.
Yeah, no, then we'll share them with you guys. You guys can take a look and see if it applies for you, and all of that fun stuff.
So so this is the employee side, which is great if you're an employee, and it's great if you are trying to take care of your employees. But if you're a small business who every penny matters, this could put you into a panic, right? Like, how am I going to pay? I have to pay my client or my employees for their leave while I'm trying to pay someone to replace the work they're losing, right? I know that's a main concern. Well, the government has also implemented an employer credit. And so what this does is basically everything I just covered, that I just talked about, that the employee receives, the employer gets a payroll credit for that money that they're paying out.
Oh.
So essentially, it should not cost the employer anything out of pocket.
Okay.
right? So that's really, really exciting.
Yeah, but that way they don't feel like we're not making money because we're paying our employees, which feels good because they deserve it. But then it's like we're sitting here with nothing, and what do we do for, operational expenses, right? Because those are still coming through. Unfortunately, that's just how that works. So
yes, so
that's
this
awesome.
is a way for the government will pay the employers back for the paid time they pay out to their employees. We're not sure yet about the timing of this. I believe that the reason they've made it a payroll credit is so there's not a timing difference. My understanding is gonna be, at least this is how I'm hoping it's set up. You run the payroll for your employee, right? You pay their paid sick time out. And then in that same payroll, you're gonna ask for the credit, right? So that your bank account as the employer isn't getting hit. There's not a time.
That way that it overlaps a little bit versus having this big gap in between putting the money out and money coming back in for it.
Yes.
Awesome.
And I do want to let you guys know that there is a small business exemption. So businesses with fewer than 50 employees are not going to have to pay this paid leave out, but it's definitely something to, once you have the facts and you see that there's a credit being received for the money giving out, and it's not actually money out of your pocket, it's definitely a way to take care of your employees, and to let them know that this program is in place so that they're not scared to take time off.
Yeah, because then I'm sure there's plenty of people that are like, I can't take off because if I don't, I'm not making anything.
Yeah.
And that's more terrifying than the chance of getting sick. So people are still like going to work because that's their only option.
Bingo. Yeah. Because there are, you guys got to remember, there are places that aren't closed down completely yet. There are offices still open, and there are offices that don't, doctor's offices, hospital, those things are still open. And so you don't want employees to be scared to not come to work because they're not going to get paid. So
yeah, that's so critical. Well, I don't have employees. I just have me. So it's just still important.
That said, they are trying to figure out how to help how to somehow make this applicable and available to sole proprietors such as yourself.
Yeah. Okay.
Right now, there's not any caveats to say, because really you don't get paid, right? Like you don't receive a pay from so there's not under this.
It's not I'm not on a payroll sort of thing. Okay.
So if you're not on payroll, there's not a way for you to benefit from this here, but I think we're going to see, maybe even by the time this video or this interview airs that they added something in there for business owners like yourself.
Okay, because what I've seen, because a friend of mine, he works in DC and he works in the SBA area. So he says that they have updated, really, at least my state. I know that it's changing multiple times a day for all the states and who's eligible. So I don't know if have any information or insight on this of like the disaster loans through the SBA, the Small Business Association.
That's on my list.
Oh, perfect. Okay, well, leading right into the next item.
So that was all the stuff we want to talk about how the taxes are affected, right?
Okay, perfect.
And so now, yes, another one of your questions was, where can business owners get grant and loan support? Boom. See, we're getting
perfect.
There. So right now, there are not any government grant programs in place yet. I don't see, other than, things like this where they're trying to offer credits or do these things yet. I say yet because I think things are in the works.
Okay.
That said, there is the Small Business Administration has a program put in place right now. Let me find, it's a long name. It's one of those like
disaster loans.
It's the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program.
Such a long name.
Right. So what it is they are working with state governors, and they are giving out working capital loans of up to $2 million these are targeted low interest loans. You guys are not really looking to make money off of it, but they're not trying to give out free money. Right. Mm-hmm. So they're targeted to small businesses and nonprofits that are severely impacted by what's going on. And honestly, right now, when this started, we're like, oh, well, severely impacted means I got sick or someone's, but at this point you're seeing a decrease or an impact on your income due to
sales. Like, do you have clients, especially for like brick and mortar places that are more than likely probably shut down?
Yes.
Especially if they have very small few employees, then it's possible that they're not even open.
Yeah.
I know there's so many small little like boutiques and stuff. They're just like, we're just not going to deal with it. We're done until everything kind of blows over and gets through this to reopen.
Yeah. It's something that most of us have not gone through as small business owners, and so we're walking on new, we're exploring new territory.
Yeah, it's totally new territory. And just every day is a new adventure.
Right. So I will have the link to the or Heather. Yeah, we'll also have the link.
We'll have the link, guys. Don't worry. We'll have all the links that Bree's talking about will be available to you guys to take a look at and see if you qualify. So you can check on the status of things and just kind of get more information from a credible source, because we all know that there are lots of articles and misinformation just all over the place. We want to make sure that you are getting the proper information from a credible source that you can rely on.
Yes. And that kind of brings me to the things we hear that are in the pipeline. And the reason I want to bring these up is because a lot of these programs or initiatives are being presented as if they're already in place, and they're not yet. But they're things that I want you guys listening and watching to keep an eye out for, if they're things that might benefit your business or you individually. So some of those things, they are going to create a waiver for penalties on 401k early withdrawals. Not really something I recommend, but we're all going to have to deal with this cash flow issue differently. So they're going to waive penalties on that. You guys have heard about the direct checks that are coming to taxpayers. We've heard $1,000 per taxpayer, $1,200 per taxpayer. There's nothing set yet. Congress is working on that as we speak. So hopefully the next day or two we'll know exactly what that entails.
Okay.
They are talking about increasing unemployment benefits, and doing so without affecting the employer's unemployment insurance rates, which is important. Okay. Because then what you can do as a small business owner is you can tell the employees that maybe you're laying off to go file for unemployment, when normally you might not do that, because when people, I don't know if you guys know this, but when you file for when an employee gets fired and they file for unemployment, all claims that are made increase your unemployment insurance rates. All right.
As the business owner. But the government has specifically said that COVID-19 related unemployment insurance benefits paid out will not affect your business uninsured or unemployment insurance rates. I don't know why I keep wanting to say uninsured. Unemployment insurance rates. I don't know. It's okay. We got it. We're good.
And then the last piece I want you guys to kind of keep an eye out for is that we've heard that there's going to be some mortgage and student loan payment relief, as well as SBA loan relief.
Okay.
So, and I think what that's going to look like, it's not going to be, writing your debt off. It's not going to be,
Man, I thought I was going to get rid of those student loans this year once and for all.
But I think what it is going to do, it's going to give us somewhere from 2 to 6 months of not making payments without accruing additional interest.
That is what's critical, because usually that stuff, even when they're deferred or anything, is you're still getting, you're still earning, they're still adding the interest to it, even though you're not paying anything. So just not doing that alone can be such a huge relief. So, but none of this is official yet. This is stuff that we're waiting.
Those things are official, but those are things that hopefully they go through, and
I know that can be a big thing, especially because that'll impact cash flow for a lot of people.
Yes.
Right now, and that's important.
And that actually is the piece of, not the video I sent that you guys
Bree's resource. So everybody, in case you haven't watched the other ones yet, guys, every speaker that I have coming on is bringing a free resource to you so that you can have something to help you through this time, just depending on what their things that they specialize in. So Bree's is specializing towards taxes and all things in that area. So we will have a link for a video for you guys to download, to watch for more information to help you. And obviously, if you have questions or anything about anything we've talked about in this video, please drop them in the comments below. She will come back and answer them. If she doesn't see them, I'll tag her so that she can come in. But that way, if you have questions, you can get actual answers from somebody who knows what the hell they're talking about, not just somebody's mom on Facebook. But that way, and especially if anything changes, we can definitely let you guys know too.
Yes. Yes. So. Everything Heather just said. Yes.
Yes. Awesome. So is that all? Is that all you got for me?
I think that's it. Let me see. Did I miss anything? Let me see.
I think that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
That was a lot though.
It was.
That's a lot of information.
There's a lot. And what I want to just reiterate to you guys, or just kind of make sure we're clear on, is that this epidemic, this pandemic is going to affect all of our businesses in one way or another. There are still people out there that think they're immune or think things will just work themselves out, but you guys, hope is not a strategy. All right. You guys, we have to plan, and not panic, but plan.
Mm-hmm. And be strategic about what your options are, knowing what could potentially happen. You need to have some sort of a plan in place to follow if, shit's already hit the fan, but like what's coming next, you need to be prepared for that and be thinking ahead.
Yes. And even if you're not deeply impacted by this specific, by, the coronavirus, you guys, every 2 to 5 years, our economy is somehow threatened, either directly or indirectly by something, a recession, a health concern, a terrorist threat, something. So if you guys disaster proof your business finances now, then you're not in this state that most of us are in right now next time this happens. And that's what my resource is. It's figuring out your finances and figuring out if you are protected against disasters like this.
Oh, that's awesome. So if they're not, they need to call you and be like, we need to talk.
Yeah. And you guys, so many resources I've created out there, not only the video that I'm providing for you guys, but I also have I think it's a 12 video training on my YouTube channel where it's a 5 to 10 minute video and then something for you guys, like a take action, a project for you guys to do. And then that's the whole series, so that you guys, step by step, I can walk through with you guys and you can review your finances, figure out how susceptible you are to a disaster like this, how much it's going to affect your business, and then putting safeguards in place to make sure it doesn't put your business out of business,
Yeah, like safeguards in place to help, like when you've got a hurricane coming in, they build the wall of sandbags. Like that's not probably the best metaphor, but you get the point, right? You need to have something in place to help for when something like this happens, or if something else happens that could threaten your business.
Yep.
So, I love all of that. Bree, thank you again so much for coming on here.
Thanks for having me, and thank you for putting this together. This is so awesome, Heather. Thank you.
Yes, of course. So you guys, Bree, where can everybody find you at? Sorry.
No,
reverse that question. Where can we find you online?
So the best place right now to find me is on Facebook. And I have my business page, which is Lippa Beers Associates. And there, you guys, I am posting, I'm having open groups, like question and answers, posting every day what's going on, updates, tax wise. And then for my small business owners, which is everyone here, you guys should join my Facebook group. It's called Money, Taxes, and Finance for Small Business Owners.
I am in there. That you guys, there is so much awesome information she puts out. And I'm just like, if I need to know anything related to taxes and stuff, I just go in there, because Bree's posting all the information. She's keeping everybody up to date as things are changing, because as we've seen the last couple of weeks, things are changing daily. If not multiple times a day, just based on, how events are turning through this. So,
yep.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate you. And again, you guys, if you have any questions, about anything, just drop them in the comments and Bree will come back in and answer them for you. And then we will have all of the links for everything, in the title and the caption for you guys.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks. Yay.